but we just want to see the country back to democratic track, not go out of the way to dictatorial track.
Is Thaksin Shinawatra a champion of human rights? Always with a finger on Thai politics, Thaksin Shinawatra will give an interview to the media in Thailand from time to time, like last week.
As the Prime Minister, I said that I will not just be a leader by law. I will be the leader that really lead the countries with leadership, with sacrifice.
Often he would speak up when General Prayut Chan-o-cha makes a mess of things. Which, really, when doesn't he make a mess of things? Now, I teach political communications, otherwise known as propaganda, at Thammasat University. So as someone who thinks he understands political strategy, let me say it's a good move by Kun Thaksin to do these interviews, because the goal of propaganda is to influence the perception of the people in order to shape the political reality of a nation. Patronage and the cult of personality is the foundations of Thailand's cultural and political system. So whenever Thailand is in a mess, which really, when is it not? The strategy is to compare two rival leaders or two competing cults of personalities in order to influence the public perception that one is better than the other, thereby forming the reality of the public voting for one leader over another. Or in the case we are discussing, forming a public perception that Kun Thaksin is a champion of human rights and democracy, while Kun Prayut, known for a military coup, attitude adjustment camp, and 250 junta-appointed senators, is not. And that Kun Thaksin is a much more capable leader than Kun Prayut, which, really, who isn't? Thereby, shaping the reality of Pheu Thai Party winning the next election, becoming government, and perhaps, just perhaps, eventually, amnesty and the return to Thailand. That is, of course, if you believe Pheu Thai Party belongs to Kun Thaksin. If you believe one has nothing to do with the other, then please stop watching this episode. This Disrupt episode will strip away perception and dig into the reality of whether or not Kun Thaksin is a champion of human rights, which is a core value of democracy. Let me start by telling a story. In 2001, I was a young, innocent, wide-eyed, apple-cheeked reporter at the Bangkok Post. Thai Thai Party just won its first election by a landslide, and the new Prime Minister and cabinet made a round of media visits that included the Bangkok Post. Kun Thaksin and his entourage walked into the Post building through cheers and applause. Back in the day, everybody loves Kun Thaksin, even though time has changed. And in a scene that's truly Thai, many company staffs, but not reporters, that would be unethical. Many company staff took out a 100 baht bill for Kun Thaksin to sign. Because you know, if a billionaire signs your 100 baht bill, then one day you might also become rich. It's all for good luck. Kun Thaksin and his people got onto the elevator up to the mezzanine level where the boardroom was located. Again, most people were excited, and why wouldn't they be? Except there was this one young Mexican-looking Thai dude standing at the back, leaning against the rail like this. Now, this is what a good politician does. Kun Thaksin scanned the area and saw one person who wasn't excited, so he walked straight at me. Everyone looked on going, ay caramba, should have locked that pendejo up in the toilet. Kun Thaksin came straight at me with a big smile, put his hands on my shoulders, and for one moment our eyes locked. Then he asked, "Do you work here?" I replied, "Krap, oh yes." He batted his eyelashes and said with a big smile, "You should be in the movies." My knees almost buckled. I almost blushed. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a fine example of political communication by Kun Thaksin. But a pendejo is never easily swayed. In the Q&A session in the boardroom, I raised my hand to ask my first and the day's last question. Mr. Prime Minister, sir, what to you is the meaning of human rights? Kun Thaksin looked at me and again flashed a big smile. Then he looked around the room and said to everyone, I once was talking to a group of foreign dignitaries. This very question came up. My answer was, human rights is the right to be human. There was a second of hushed moment in the boardroom. Then his cabinet and entourage started to clap and cheers, while most of the reporters just kind of looked at each other. Meanwhile, the pendejo slumped back into his chair, scratching his head, which back then was full of hair. You see, I am not a fan, but I am fair. Whatever else he may be, Kun Thaksin is the most capable prime minister in modern Thai history. 30 baht universal healthcare, wonderful. OTOP, awesome. Crisis management of the 2004 tsunami, pretty good. 1 million baht village fund, no. You're just legally buying votes. Tak Bai incident, fair enough. That one is on the army, which does whatever it wants anyway. The 2003 war on drugs. It was a crime against humanity. According to Human Rights Watch, nearly 3,000 people were killed, most of whom by the police. These were extrajudicial killings without trial and due process of law. In other words, with no regard for human rights. And Kun Thaksin was the man in charge who gave the green light. But let me say this, whatever crime or corruption Kun Thaksin may or may not have committed, he should be judged by the due process of democratic laws, not by a military coup d'etat. Twice. If you believe in Disrupt, please subscribe to our Facebook page at disrupt.co and become a supporter. It's only 169 baht per month. Otherwise, scan the QR code or use the Bangkok Bank account number 030-8190-859 Disrupt Media Company Limited to support us whenever you like and as much as you like. Your support matters.